All right, I was watching the speech by Donald J. Trump live, where, of course, he went into everything's Biden's fault, especially Afghanistan and the withdrawal from Afghanistan. He stated once again that it's because of the weakness showed by Joe Biden and leaving a bare minimum of troops there for the pullout and all that stuff. And he discussed in detail people hanging on the plane and falling off the planes from a height of 3 times the World Trade Center in his braggadocious bullshit self as usual. And he went into detail about how Russia would never have thought of invading Ukraine if it weren't for the weakness showed by Joe Biden with the withdrawal of Afghanistan. Now, like everything else in Trump world, this is all based on the show. The show has to point the blame for other things at other people. It can't be him. Like the negotiating with OPEC to cut the oil production so prices go up when Joe Biden takes office, that type of stuff. Well, here's how it works. In Afghanistan, there's one news organization that the Afghan people rely on for their news about America. That is a Rupert Murdoch station. So just imagine what they're fed. Well, I don't have to imagine, because one of the people that comes into my live is directly from Afghanistan, now lives in Canada. Was describing the news coverage of the pullout and how it all blamed Joe Biden. Now, here's the problem with that. Trump basically wrote a letter forfeiting the war in Afghanistan, forfeiting the country of Afghanistan. And he sat down with the leaders of the Taliban and Mike Pompeo at Camp David, one of the only times the Trump White House ever used Camp David, because he can't make money off Camp David, and negotiated the total withdrawal from Afghanistan by May 1st, 2021. Total withdrawal. In return for forfeiting the entire country to the Taliban, Trump, art of the deal, best negotiator on earth, freed 5,000 Taliban fighters, including leaders of the Taliban, one of which actually took over and was the ruler of a big portion of Afghanistan after the withdrawal happened. Now, what ended up happening with this brilliant negotiation, art of the deal worthy, is he promised to not only withdraw from 35,000 troops down to 2,500 troops before Joe Biden ever took office. Now, when he did that, it didn't leave many troops to get the rest of the equipment, military stuff, out of the country by the May 5th, 2021 date. Mind you, May 1st, 2021, it's right after Joe Biden took office. This was already in the works. He couldn't have stopped it. So, with these negotiations and the forfeiture, the one group that was not represented in the talks in any way, shape, or form was the government of Afghanistan. The negotiations about the United States leaving Afghanistan, over a decade-long being in Afghanistan, was negotiated between the terrorists and Donald J. Trump, not the Afghan government. They weren't invited to the table. They knew nothing about this going on. Think about that. The government of the country, Donald J. Trump, basically handed over to not only the existing Taliban, but gave back 5,000 fighters and leaders to go back into Afghanistan. Weren't invited. And yet he's blaming Joe Biden. And so are many of the Afghan people. So we've got 5,000 troops. We've got the withdrawal by 5/1/21. We've got the pullout from 35,000 to 2,500 soldiers. 2,500 soldiers. And thousands of military equipment. But Joe Biden was blamed for that too. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're hearing Donald Trump, August of 2024, still swearing up and down that Joe Biden was the one who withdrew from Afghanistan, pretending that he didn't basically sign a "we forfeit, we retreat" letter and gift wrap the country for the Taliban without the country actually being involved in the conversation, we will see the depths of the BS and the political public manipulation about everything that is Donald J. Trump. The Afghan pullout was 100% Trump. Just like negotiating with OPEC and Russia and Saudi Arabia and the UE, all to cut production before Biden took office. There's a big picture there with one purpose, and that is the same purpose as denying the border bill so it looks bad on Joe Biden. Now, this is a man who's running to run this country one more time. When I say run this country, I mean run it into the ground. There is nothing this man does that's actually for the benefit of the United States or the people in it. Everything he does has to do with him making more money, his friends making more money, and seeing what he can get out of our favorite dictators all over the world. He has had visits from the biggest dictators on earth since he left the White House. He has gone to their homes, they have come to his. That is the man trying to get back into office. And if we don't pay attention to the big picture here, we're kind of missing it. Our country is in danger. Our democracy is in danger. And if he gets in again, God forbid, he will not leave. And his friends will make sure of that. And it will be too late. So you see Republicans all over this country very proudly stepping out in support of Harris Walz, as they should, because they know, and taking a sentence from the speeches of one of these predominant Republicans, there is only one adult in the room, well, two now, when it comes to wanting to run this country. It's not Trump, and it's not Mr. Eyeliner Couchhumper. It's Kamala Harris and Walz. Let's make sure we keep Donald Trump and his band of merry scumbags out of the office and get on with our beautiful days in our already great country. So stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together. God bless.